What do the battlefields at Sekigahara, Japan in 1600 have to do with St. Andrew's Hall in Glasgow in 1914? And what does that have to do with the Berlin Olympics right before the Second World War? The answer is the martial arts were there every time, playing a transformative role in fundamental world events. We're going to learn about all that and more in a class I'm teaching at Western Washington University this winter. It's called This Is Why We Fight, an interdisciplinary history of martial arts from 1600 to the present. The martial arts don't just transform society, they are transformed by it, and the way that we fight as cultures tells us a lot about ourselves, our politics, our gender roles, our relationships with other people, and that's a lot of the stuff we're going to study in this class. At each of those places, watershed historical events happened that transformed entire societies. A battle that helped Japan get out of feudalism, a social movement that won British women the right to vote, and finally, a movement for martial arts that culminated in popular entertainment today. We wouldn't have the Ultimate Fighting Championship if we didn't first have samurai battles in 1600. Oh, and along the way, we had things like Japan beating a larger, stronger, more aggressive power called Russia in the Russo-Japanese War, which a lot of people credited to jiu-jitsu. This class is 10 weeks long and we're going to cover a lot of ground. Part of the reason I started this channel was to share supplemental resources for people involved in the class, but also share cool images, cool tidbits, cool fight stories that I find along the way with a much broader audience. The class is going to take us all around the world, from the United Kingdom around the dawn of the 20th century, to the United Arab Emirates, to pre-revolution Cuba, to, of course, the United States, Brazil, and much, much more. We're going to learn how cultural norms and social forces like race, class, and gender affect how martial arts develop. We're going to talk about capoeira, which was founded by enslaved people, Afro-Caribbeans, and how that briefly became Brazil's national game before jiu-jitsu supplanted it for factors that we will get into over the course of the class. We're going to learn about how martial arts, including judo, jiu-jitsu, catch wrestling, many more, affected American sporting life, including when barnstorming athletes would take challenges matches all around the country. And by the way, that's Jim Jeffries, the boxer, not me, that learned jiu-jitsu then. We're going to talk about splits in martial arts over things like philosophy, over things like technique. We'll talk about the origins of the modern self-defense movement, which led to really cool things like this, a thing that actually happened in the courtroom between 1900 and 1906. The way martial arts developed tells us a lot about our societies, about our priorities, about the resources we have, about the hierarchies we recognize, about the social categories that we put ourselves and put each other in. We're going to have a lot of fun in this class, and I'm going to use this channel to provide a lot of supplementary resources for people that are in the class, as well as people that just want to follow along and see some of the cool stuff we find, some of the cool projects we produce. We've come a long way from when we were using martial arts to fight civil wars to using it for fitness, fun, and community. We're going to explore that whole history. We're going to have a blast. I hope you come along.